are now entering a safe area.
Okay, hello and welcome to day 2 of Stuff's Division, basically a review in progress. This is me, I guess just streaming as I test the game. Because the game relies massively on live public servers and all that stuff, Ubisoft weren't able to supply early review copies, so we're playing the game with everybody else. We started yesterday as soon as the servers went live, but other than that, we're playing with everyone else. You guys have probably now got copies. Hooray! So yesterday I did the first starting area. There's an area before Manhattan where you basically learn the ropes, learn the controls, get your equipment and stuff. And then you go to the area that a lot of you will have seen in the beta. I've gone through all that stuff now. This is one of the other safe houses in Manhattan. And I've got a bit of extra equipment. I've managed to cover up my douchey haircut with a hat. I'm really hoping there's a hairdresser in this game somewhere, because that haircut is really bothering me. Yeah, so let's see what we've got. So at the start of the game, you basically got your base of operations. Let's go there, in fact. So when you start the game, you're asked to go to this base of operations, which is in a state of total disrepair, and there are 3 wings, and to unlock each of those wings, you have to do a mission that rescues an NPC who will then sort of own and control and build up that wing. So you can see here, you've got medical wing, tech wing, and security wing. And the benefit of upgrading each of those, you can see I've only got 20, 10, and 20%. The benefit of upgrading each of those is that it unlocks skills, perks, talents. I can never quite remember. What have we got? It's skills, talents, and perks. And each of the upgrades to your base will open up more perks or more skills. You've got talents here as well. In the end, you're going to be able to have 4 of them, but that's pretty high level. You start off only able to choose 1. Again, these unlock as you open the different wings, and then perks, which appear to be just passive upgrades that just sit in the background. You don't need to select them; they just appear to every time you unlock one. That just sits in the background, and they look like they're pretty handy. Yeah, this one, for example, when you go into the dark zone, you can only get a certain amount of kit, and it starts off at 6, and this allows me to have 1 extra slot. When I get to the dark zone areas, that'll be a big benefit. So let's have a quick look at the base of operations, how mine is looking now.
Got a piece here that's calling your name.
So you can see these lines on the floor direct you to the 3 different wings. So let's follow the green one to medical. So before this was, now there's a queue kind of standing outside here because the medical wing's open, although apparently not getting through patients particularly quickly. That's not how it looked. This is not how this area looked. It was completely demolished beforehand. And if I go to this terminal here, now that the medical wing's open, I can unlock all these different upgrades. So the only one I've done so far is decontamination unit, which, as you can see, gave me a couple of extra talents and an extra perk. Nice. And to get points for those, you have to do missions for each of the 3, I guess, disciplines, each of the 3 wings. So let's go and do one of those now. Here you can see the full map. So that's it. It's possibly not quite as big as everybody expected from the beta. It's not loads bigger than the beta, I guess. Maybe that's 3 times the size of the beta, maybe 4. So far, it seems to be very densely populated, and there are loads of missions. So bear in mind, I've only done one security mission, 1 medical mission, and 1 tech mission so far. And now there are 4 of each available on the map. So that's quite a lot, and I reckon each of those missions probably takes 20 minutes to half an hour. So that's quite a lot of content. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen once I've done that 12 missions. I don't know what's going to happen after that. But it still seems like quite a lot, at least in the early days. And let's quickly mention the Dark Zone. The Dark Zone is different to how it was in the beta, in that it's split into 6 areas. Each one cordoned off with a different level, split into a different level. And actually the level it recommends you to be for even the first of those areas is level 10. Which takes quite a while. I did venture into there yesterday, and I got killed by the first NPC I saw because he was more than 5 levels above me, which you can tell. You get a skull next to the enemy that tells you that enemy is far above your level. I did have some technical issues with voice and everything yesterday, so I'm sure you guys will mention in the chat channel if that's the case, but otherwise let's just crack on. So let's do a medical mission. I've not seen these before. Minimum recommended level 14. I think I'll avoid that one for now.
Phase 1 was a success.
That's a level 7.
Phase 1
Let's
success.
try that.
Agent, we, meaning Dr. Candle, need you to secure the Hudson Rail Yards area. The yards have become a tent city for the destitute and desperate. The people forced out of every place else end up here. What we're looking for is blood samples from those refugees, clean ones, sick ones, and ones who might have survived the dollar flu for Dr. Candle to work her magic on. So if you secure the site, we can do the rest.
Okay, so let's just have a quick look around. So this is your base of operations from the outside. It's the old post office building in New York. I don't know New York particularly well. I'm sure I couldn't tell you what those buildings are. I'm sure loads of people here will know a lot more about it than I do. I've never been. Okay, so obviously you can see the point that I've marked on the map is marked there for me, and you get this little line taking there. It's not always the quickest route to follow this. There are sometimes shortcuts, but equally you can go down an alley and find out that it goes absolutely nowhere. So often it's best to just follow the route.
I'll just get out of your way.
You can probably see this the funky add-ons that I've got on this MP5 that I'm using. I got that last night.
Oh, no.
While playing with some friends. I wasn't streaming that, I'm afraid. Okay. So at this point, if you wanted to, you could do some matchmaking. You can also change the difficulty, so when you come back to these missions later on, you can change it to a harder difficulty level. And obviously this gives you the details of the mission and everything, yada yada yada. I'm actually, because you won't be able to hear any chat or anything on the live stream, I am just going to head in solo.
Agent, it's Dr. Candle.
It's quite a lot tougher.
I want to stress to you the vital importance of safeguarding any civilians you may come across. The math says some of those people must have survived the dollar flu. That means they've got antibodies to it that I need to have a hope in hell of fighting this thing. And the ones who are just sick, having a broader genetic diversity of virus samples will help us track the virus's rate of mutation, which is a long way to say, keep those people alive until I get what I need from them. Got that? Great.
So I played a couple of missions last night with friends, and when you add more players, it also adds more enemies. I still think probably overall, when we were playing 3 players yesterday, I thought that was slightly easier than doing any of the missions I did solo during the day, but that could be coincidence. These guys are the cleaners. and they basically seem to want to disinfect the city by setting alight to the whole city. They're not very nice, but they do have a vulnerable point on the back. That's my little drone, little sentry turret. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does suppress enemies, which can be very handy, as it allows you also to get around them. That explosion never gets old. Let's see if we can get that guy with that. Nice. That squelching noise when you finish someone with a headshot. Just love it. Just love it. It's brutal. This MP5 is obviously supposed to be quite a short-range weapon, but I must admit it seems pretty handy at range. I was using a Scar 8 grenade. I was using a Scar 8 kind of marksman rifle for a bit yesterday. And I just don't. It doesn't feel like a game particularly well suited for long-range shooting. At least to me. It's probably just a lack of skill. I'm sure some people will really enjoy playing the game as a sniper, but
city prisoner. That's what it looks like, and it fits the cleaner MO. If you wanted to eradicate every last vestige of detectable virus, where would you go? Wherever the biggest concentrations are. Refugee camps, shanty towns. Jesus, you don't think they'd...
so
solution. Highly effective. Sure, if you're a genocidal maniac. You ever wonder if we even deserve to survive this thing?
So a couple of those guys were purples, as you can see, so they're tougher enemies. And you do find that unless you pay attention to what colour an enemy is, you kind of underestimate them, and the purple ones can do a heck of a lot of damage very quickly. As you can see, I've got a drop here. The general level of the drop is immediately obvious by this kind of pillar of light. So I know that that's going to be a green level item. Green comes above white. White is kind of, I guess, very basic level stuff. Green is that little bit higher, and then you get blues. I went through this yesterday, I couldn't remember. Blues, purples, and oranges, I think. I'm just going back because I don't know what this
Readings
is.
indicate an echo nearby.
Okay. This is an echo, a kind of vision of the past, I guess. They are quite nicely done.
Oh, that's nasty. God, I think I'm
kinda
gonna be
walk.
sick. Hey! It's this or nothing.
Pick that up, get some XP. I'm not quite sure what's going on here, to be totally honest. Whatever. Let's crack on. The echoes can be a little bit obtuse, I guess. I spotted there are a couple of things you can see on the radar in the top left. you can see that it marks items. The little purple things are item pickups. So I know there's one in here. Okay, that's telling me I'm full of that. Oh, and this looks... Okay, this is an ammo restock. These are dotted about. It feels like you've got a hell of a lot of ammo, so 37 in the magazine and 756 in total, you can see, which sounds like a lot, but I have at times completely run out of ammo, and that's pretty distressing. Although I've obviously got a shotgun as backup. You always want a shotgun as backup. I just saw on the radar another... There we go. Oh! Okay, that's an explosive. And there's another one there. I think I'm going to be a little bit cautious as I expect. There are going to be a few of these dotted about. Maybe you can run past them, sort of dive past them. I might try that for the next one. It's just obviously pretty painful if you get it wrong. There's another. Okay, there's nowhere to roll, so I'm just going to get rid of that. I wonder if there's a perk that makes you invulnerable to those, or whether you can disarm them or something. Might look into that, because waiting for the flames to die down is a bit irritating, isn't it? Just see if there's any loot. When we were playing last night, we did actually find a box that wasn't marked on the map, and actually had some really good gear in it. So I think it's
increasing.
Going
to be worth doing a bit of
You're walking
exploring.
into the teeth of it now. Don't forget what I said about keeping any infected refugees alive. Obviously, you're going to try and keep them all alive, but I need those virus samples, and I really need viable antibody samples from survivors. So
Fingers crossed that mine is
extra
hiding
alive,
something really
I guess.
nice.
You know what I'm saying. I'm going back to work now.
I can hear another one.
Candle
there it is.
out.
Let's see if we can run past it. Yeah, okay. That's a quick way of doing it, isn't it? I might... Okay, these are civilians. What's going on here? What are you guys doing down here? Just hanging around. Okay, whatever. So I think this is maybe... Yeah, this is just another route in. Nice graffiti. It's the prettiest train I ever saw. Nothing on the map here. Okay. You can hear these bombs all over the place. Oh, another one there. You often spot them too late when you're running. And here we have small cleaners. Let's see if I can find a decent position. That's the cover-to-cover mechanic, which is really nice. There's an upgrade available for the sentry turret that I'm kind of saving towards, which is a it allows the sentry gun to stun enemies, which can be really useful. It's a similar upgrade for the sticky grenade, which is one of the other talents. I'm just going to shoot some of these when I see them. Just me running into them on the way back. See if I can make it there without being seen.
Antivirus. How about you tell us what was up with that explosion? We in danger?
The enemies can flank pretty well. This guy seems a bit stuck, but you do find yourself in some of the wider areas. They do tend to get around you, and you have to pay quite a lot of attention to your radar.
Warning. Chemical signature of explosives detected.
Confirmed. It's napalm B, all right. With that much capacity, they must be planning to burn out the whole damn yard. And when they do, they're gonna kill every last refugee in that shanty town. We need that tank moved somewhere safe.
I'm pretty sure I am, at this moment, stealing stuff out of the rucksacks of these refugees. That seems a little bit tough, but clearly there's no penalty for it. I guess I just have to live with the guilt. No one seems to object, though.
They don't look like Sarah. I mean, Sarah doesn't wear uniforms, and I'm pretty sure they don't carry guns.
Sarah gave up on this place weeks ago.
So, who the hell are they?
Not the nicest place to live, I'm sure you'll agree. There's not even a roof. Rats. Okay.
You see that?
Okay, and a restock here. I've got a lot of cover here. See if I can. Oh no, that wasn't very sensible. Not very sensible at all. Well, there you go. My first death of the day. I'm sorry you had to see that.
Warning. Chemical signature of explosives detected.
Okay, let's try that again.
It's napalm B, all right. With that much capacity, they must be planning to burn out the whole damn yard. And when they do, they're gonna kill every last refugee in that shanty town. We need that tank moved somewhere safe.
Alright, let's get some better cover this time. Looks like that guy had his own sensor turret. First time I've seen that. There he goes. You notice that with enemies of that level, they've got these like white blocks above the health bar, which is for their shield. It takes ages to take those down. But once the shield's actually gone, they go down pretty quickly. Just pressed L1 there to use the health ability that I've got. I find that really handy, otherwise you have to use a medikit every time you want to heal. Seems that guy's heading to where he thinks I am. I find a lot of these missions have kind of different routes through them. Admittedly, wouldn't have made a lot of difference there because there weren't enemies, but it's always worth, in a lot of these firefights, kind of having a good look around to see if there's another route. Often it'll be a ladder just sitting there and you won't really notice it, but that could give you a really good vantage point over the enemies. It's particularly useful when you're playing in threes, so sorry, in a group, anything between 2 and 4, so that you've got people who are distracting the enemy and you can kind of sneak up on them. Oh, I just love those explosions. So good. A bit more enemies. They seem to be running away. Whips. It might be possible to just jump from here. You can do that sometimes, but it does take life off, as you can see there. And the amount of life depends on the distance you fall, obviously. You can't just kind of run off edges. If a fall is going to hurt you, the game won't let you just run off the edge, basically. So you have to press a button.
Okay, Agent. As soon as
Those
you lock the
guys are,
situation down, I've got a joint Sarah JTF strike force ready to move in.
dangerous
Take
when they get the
samples
jump
from
on
as many
you.
refugees as they can find. Medical personnel? A couple of EMTs
when
in
they
the
get the
mix,
jump on you,
Doctor?
but if you
Yes.
can see them
A
coming
couple?
and you've
As
not got
in
loads of other
only
enemies
two?
around, they're quite easy to just pick off.
The rest are
You
first
saw
aid
that?
certified. They know how to tap a vein. Get going, Agent.
I
Without
have
contaminating the samples, I assume.
feeling.
Or infecting themselves. Yes. I'll take your word for it.
I'm heading into a boss fight here.
Thank you, Doctor.
Each of these main missions. Each of these main missions has tends to have a boss encounter. At least all of the ones I've seen so far.
This is Dr. Candle. Sampling team, can you hear me?
Patel here. Go ahead, Doctor.
Oh, Lieutenant, good. Listen, I need you guys to log intake info from everybody you get a sample from. Age, gender, ethnicity, general state of health on a 10-point scale, then label and group the samples according to...
Excuse me, Doctor, but maybe this could wait until we get confirmation the op is actually complete.
You saying you don't have faith in your agent?
Just focusing on the task at hand. Lieutenant, we'll radio the doctor as soon as the area is secured.
Yes, ma'am. Don't worry, Doctor. We'll get it all worked out.
I hope so. It's only the survival of the human species we're talking about.
That doctor is so
Copy that,
snooty.
Doc. Tell out.
She's one of the first of those characters who operates the wings. She obviously operates the medical wing. She's one of the first people you rescue. You will have met her if you played either the closed or open beta, because her mission was in both. Yeah, charming lady. Okay, looks like we're going up. Oh, hang on. About to miss a couple of boxes, I think. So that obviously wasn't the boss fight, which I assume means I'm about to get to that. Quick scan for anything else. I know a lot of these boxes don't have much in, but you know, if you don't look, you'll miss the one that's got that next great weapon. No respawn zone, so I'm guessing that means...
You know the situation, it's too late for these people here. They're dead, every one of them. But it's not too late for us. If we do what we gotta do, it might not be too late for the rest of the country. So go to work.
So I was able to get the jump on those guys because my sentry turret had suppressed them. Snipers are utter buggers. Let's back up a bit. If you don't pay attention to a sniper and he gets a shot on you, it can take off most of your life in one go. Faisal, what's the difference between the loot in the dark zone and normal PV? I think it's just a level thing. The dark zone loot is, I don't know how much you know, but I mean the dark zone loot is harder to get. You know, it's obviously a tougher zone to be in, and once you collect it, you need to get it extracted by helicopter. Oh dear. And I think it's mostly to do with the levels. They've always said that the highest level gear is going to be in the dark zone. But at this stage, because the dark zone is quite a high level in the main game, you know, the minimum level is 10. I've not had a chance to get into it properly just yet. Let's see if I can get around that guy. And that, I'm assuming, is going to basically be the end of this mission. Let's find out. And with any luck, there'll be some rewards. What is that on the map? That isn't the restock thing. Is there a way back up there? Doesn't look like it. Whatever it was, missed my chance. It's probably something really nice. Nice purple, I don't know, chest armor or something, I don't know. Can't win them all. Let's see what our man Martin has dropped. So I've noticed that most boss characters like this tend to drop 3 items. You can see there are 3 items there because in that column of light you've got those 3 little rectangles. I also know that all 3 of those are green, which is a bit of a shame. It'd be nice to get some blue stuff, but hey, could still be useful. Let's have a quick look. Actually, let's continue, and then I'll look at the gear afterwards. Am I lost it? Where am I supposed to be going? Oh, a phone recording. Where's that? It must be on the other side. Okay.
Agent, if you can find the crane controls, drop that tank someplace safe.
Get to operate a crane? Holy moly. All of my dreams have come true. Again, let's have a quick check. Oh, that looks like it's the exit. I'm not controlling the crane, I just press some buttons. That's a shame. Hey, look, that crane's got a ladder all the way up to the top. I wonder if you can get up there.
That should do it, Agent. Solid work. Yes, good work. Now, sample team, listen up. Like I was saying, I'm gonna need those blood samples labeled and organized so we can track corroborating factors. Let's move this discussion to a different channel so we don't bore the agent.
So you saw that just as I finished that, level, I got an AK-47, and then rewarded with some medical supplies that I can use to upgrade the medical wing back at base, and obviously some experience and stuff. I'm getting close to level 9 now. I'm surprised that it does take quite a long to level up. The first 3 or 4 levels are super quick, and then when you get up to kind of 7 or 8, it seems to go much slower, which I think is a good thing. It means you're not going to immediately rush up to level 30, which is the confirmed final level, although after level 30 it seems that there is a light level system that's similar to the way Destiny works.
From the train yard. I mean, those refugees, of course. It gave us something to think about. There's another report in the database for you to look at.
Okay, let's have a quick look. So there are some nice little snippets
One
of
the
kind of
things that
video
makes a
and audio
virus
evidence
lethal is
that you pick up.
adaptation. Rapid mutation makes it harder for antibodies to identify and drugs to kill. What we're seeing in the samples you pulled from the population at the train yard is the degree of genetic drift green poison is already experiencing, and it's significant, which means it'll be that much harder to find a vaccine.
That was kind of okay. These seem to be, so the virus reports, if that's the kind of thing you're talking about, adds a bit of extra detail, but hey, not terribly exciting. What are a bit cooler are these. These are a bit punishing. I'll show you this one because I think it's a really interesting thing that they've done in terms of adding backstory and that kind of thing. Obviously, it's a bit of a spoiler, so if you want to discover all of these for yourself, then just hold fire for 30 seconds.
Is that it?
Oh, no.
let me call it in. Dispatch, this is car 2-4. We have visual on unit 5-5. Looks abandoned, over.
Copy that, over.
Mother of Christ! Shit, they're behind us! Forget it, just go! Now, now! Dispatch, this is car 2-4. We are over...
Car 2-4, what's going on out there?
Dispatch, this is car 2-4. We are... Get back up!
Like I said, that's pretty harrowing stuff. Apparently I've got some field data as well. What's this? That's the echo. Yeah. So there seems to be... a rose jacket reward. What's that? What's that actually for? Is that for what? Unlocking all of the echoes. All of the echoes, and you get one jacket and 300 XP. No, that can't be right because the Rogue Agents is different. Not sure about that. There are some things that aren't particularly clear yet. Hopefully, figure them out at some point. Okay, let's let's have a look through the inventory stuff. I picked up a bunch of stuff during that mission. If you're not familiar with all of this, you've got your 3 weapons on the side. Your primary and secondary can be any weapon essentially. So I don't know, if you really wanted to, you could have 2 shotguns, 1 primary, 1 secondary. Those are interchangeable. And then you've got your sidearm, which is obviously a pistol. I don't know if you can get sort of machine pistols in there. I know you can get a sawn-off shotgun, which I haven't seen yet, but I do know that was a pre-order bonus, I think. One of the pre-order bonuses. So let's see if... So I got a few new weapons. Nothing majorly exciting. I'm already using this this blue level MP5, which I quite like, so I'm going to stick with that. But what I will do is see if I've unlocked any new mods for it. So you can come to your weapon customization screen, have a proper look at your gun, and then you can change the mods in various places. You can see I've got this bright red, really subtle grip going on here, and I have unlocked some others. This is less red, but a lot better. That's a 5% boost to stability, which is going to be really handy. So let's have that. I've got the horizontal stability, that's fine. Nothing better there. Nothing better in that area. I have now got... No, the reflex sight, I've currently got my shotgun, which I know doesn't seem particularly useful, but I'm going to wait until I've got a better sight. Anything new for the shotgun? I've got an accuracy boost, which is fine. So I'll keep that. It's already got an extended mag on it, not the best one, but it'll do. Fine. And finally, let's just see if there's an upgrade available for this yet. No. Those things, though, the ones you can see here, you can see the little kind of chain link icon to the left of the name of the mod, and that says that it's already attached. It's already being used as a mod on one of my other guns. Also, I think I picked up some new armor. This is things get quite complicated here. There are lots of things to factor into whether you change your kit or not. So you can see the preparedness vest is what I've got on at the moment, and that has an armor level of 27. You can see on the right hand side, but then it gets complicated. So under that you've got a row of 3 icons: the bullet one, the medic one, and the battery one, and that shows you the impact that this item of gear has on your 3 main stats of DPS, so damage per second, your health, and your skill power. And then under that you've got another bunch of stuff. So it has an effect on attributes, so plus 11% ammo capacity, plus 3.5% sticky bomb damage. I'm not using a sticky bomb, so that's kind of irrelevant, but this vest is otherwise pretty good for me. So if I pop up to the hunting vest that I've just picked up, so this has 1 point less in terms of armor, and it will reduce my primary DPS, but it will boost my skill power, which will be how effective my sentry turret is and my medipack. And then it's a plus 14% ammo capacity, so slightly more ammo, and slightly less sticky bomb damage. Sticky bomb damage is irrelevant. Really, I prefer to go for DPS over skill power, so I'm going to stick with what I've got for now. Oh, you can also, in fact, because I know I'm not going to use either of these, I can mark them as junk using L2, and that will make it much quicker to sell. That makes it much quicker to sell stuff when you get to back to base. We'll mark that as junk as well. Some new gloves, outdoor gloves, hooray! Again, these I'm favouring DPS, so let's get rid of those as well. Okay, and this is, most of the missions have a kind of fun leaving the mission area. Yeah, a little bit of climbing down a rope. So it's telling me that I can upgrade the medical wing, so let's go and do that. You can see what happens there. So back to the map. Where am I? Base of operations, here we go. This is actually probably the slowest point on the game. Like, the game is pretty much seamless, except when you get to this fast travel. I mean, it's faster than walking it, I guess. It does give you time to have a slurp of coffee. Game over, I can see you in chat. This game is The Division. I'm not entirely sure how you found the video without seeing that, but it's The Division. It came out in the UK today, but the servers went live in UK time, 1 PM yesterday, to coincide with the launch in Australia. So we've been playing for, I mean, it's been available to us for about 24 hours. I've not been playing 24 hours solid. I think I've probably done about 8 or 9 hours so far. You know, with a few pauses and stuff. Oh, this is really cool. This is something that my friend noticed when we were playing last night. When it's snowing, you can see the top of the hat and the shoulders and everything get covered in snow in the back of the backpack. Now, keep an eye on that, because as the snow melts, it actually makes those parts of your clothing and everything wet. So you get this kind of sheen to them. So let's see if this melts while I'm in the base of operations. And you should see that it starts to melt, and you get this kind of wet sheen on there. So just keep an eye on that while I mess about in here. This is the medical wing. So if you weren't here from the start, this is your base of operations, which you're tasked with upgrading. You have 3 wings: medical, that's tech, and that's security. And you have to unlock those 3 wings by doing a mission for each one, where you rescue a member of staff. Here we've got a doctor. She's particularly miserable. Thomas Caps, you've started playing level 6, haven't seen other players. Just to go back to this, you can see that snow is now melted, and you've got this wet sheen to the areas of your clothing that were covered in snow. I just think that's such a cool detail. It's the kind of thing you wouldn't necessarily notice, but yeah, Massive have put so much detail into this. It's quite incredible, even for PS4 standards. Anyway, sorry, Thomas Caps. You haven't seen other players. So the way it works is In the majority of Manhattan, it's really a PvE zone, so you only really see NPCs. You'll see other players if you go to a safe house. That doesn't include this, which is the base of operations, but let me show you. So the other house icons, here you go. So the other house icons like this and this, sometimes you have to do a mission to actually unlock them, but in those areas you will see other players. And if you do any of the main missions, not that, something like this, any of those missions you can do matchmaking. And you can, I think, also matchmake just for the standard thing. So those will be co-op missions. If you want to meet people just in open world, you need to head to the Dark Zone, but you want to wait until you're level 10, because the Dark Zone is really, really tough. Other players will kill you. The NPCs are really tough. The guys I bumped into, the NPCs, so the computer-controlled enemies I encountered last night, were level 12, and I was level 7 at the time, and they handed me my ass.
Nice to see you again.
Okay. As Sean G, should you buy this game? Look, I mean, I guess I'm only a few hours into it. I really, really like it. I wasn't sure I would. I played at E3 and they showed us some PvP stuff, and it just didn't work very well. I don't think that's the strength of the game. I think the strength of the game is in the co-op elements. But it's really good fun. There's a lot to do. It seems pretty massive. A lot of customization. The action feels really good. Sort of the gun control and everything's really good. I'm really impressed. I think if you like the look of it, chances are you'll like playing it. So yeah, I'd suggest giving it a go. Let's see. So you can see because I've now got 560 supplies, which you can see in the top left. I can now upgrade another area of the medical wing. So let's see. Doing so unlocks things on the right hand side that you can see here. So quarantine, that will upgrade the pulse skill. I don't actually use the pulse skill, so I'm not particularly bothered about that. This though would be handier. I do use the first aid skill, and this will give me a defib. This will basically give an upgrade to that skill that I'm using. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade that.
Looks perfect. I can't thank you enough. But I will bring you something from my wine rack.
And what this also does is this actually modifies this room. So every time you upgrade it, the medical wing becomes more like a working kind of hospital. So you can see, I think this is telling me that this area
at last, intensive care
has been upgraded.
Dedicated resources for the worst cases. This will save lives, Agent.
And we'll probably find that next time I come back here, there will actually be somebody in there getting treated. It's really quite nice the way every upgrade you make to your base of operations actually has a visual effect on the room. And I can also have a quick look at the ability. So it's telling me that I've got new mods available. So let's have a look. So the skill that I'm using is this one, the first aid skill. And if I press square, I can see that there are modifications now available because I upgraded the wing, upgraded the medical wing. So let's see what we've got. This will revive downed allies, grant them a portion of their normal health. I'm playing solo at the moment, so who cares about other people? This is okay. So this will heal targets more efficiently. So I guess that includes me. So let's do. So that looks like it's going to do more heal. Yes, it is. Okay. So you can see self heal. Currently, I do 733 hit points. This will put up to 1,000. That could be really, really useful. So let's have that. Okay, and we can also head to the vendors. You've got 3 vendors here. They have practically always got exclamation marks above their head, which tells you that they've got some new stock. But that isn't just necessarily new stock. It's also every time you level up, they get a stock refresh that's more appropriate to your character level. So let's just sell some stuff that I picked up. You have to sell stuff quite frequently. because you do have a limited amount of space. You can see the inventory capacity there towards the bottom left. I'm only carrying 14 of the 45 things I can carry, but it's good to stay on top of it. You don't want to get into a situation you don't want to get into a situation where you can't pick up the thing that you've just found. That can be really irritating, especially if it's something really good. The stuff that I've already marked some stuff as junk, so by clicking the left stick I can bulk sell all of that stuff that I picked up on the road and decided I definitely wasn't going to use. So let's sell all that. These things I'm not using now. I'm really happy with the MP5 and the shotgun that I've got at the moment, so I'm just going to sell all this stuff. So just quickly run through this. Okay, I don't think I want to buy anything from this guy. He's got some blues available, which is cool, including a blue pistol. I don't have a blue pistol, but then I don't use my pistol very often, so I'm going to pass on that.
There, huh? If I don't have it, you don't need it.
This lady sells the stuff that isn't weapons, masks and that kind of thing. She's got a couple of blues. That would actually make quite a big difference. You can see what it does to my stats at the top. Too bad
nothing caught your eye.
What I'm really after, though, I think, is a scope
selection in the city.
For the MP5 that I'm using. 3.5 times scope. So what? One of the things you find is that although these are zooming scopes, you don't really zoom in much. You don't have to zoom in much, and this will. It tells me on the right-hand side here that it will fit in the Burstfire MP5 that I'm using. You can see to the right-hand side, you've got that arrow, and just above it fits in Burstfire MP5. So I'm going to buy that. Treat myself.
You're keeping me
so
in business.
let's
you have
equip
anything
that.
to do with taking out the LMB?
So here you can see the weapons I've got equipped. Press square to mod, and then I select that at the top, and look, lovely big scope. The scope is almost as big as the barrel of this gun, but hey. So even though I'm not going to be using it zoomed in, I'll still benefit from the kind of attribute upgrade. That's an interesting. I'm just looking at the chat, and Thomas Caps. Do you find it more valuable to sell rather than deconstructing? To be totally honest, at this point, I haven't quite worked it out. Deconstructing doesn't seem to get you a lot, so deconstructing one weapon will get you a couple of weapon parts. And it seems so far that weapon parts aren't too difficult to come across. Plus, I'm not really building many weapons at the moment because the only blueprints I've got are for green level items. So right now I'm not particularly thinking too much about that. I'm mostly just selling stuff. I suspect that maybe when you get to the Dark Zone and stuff, some more blueprints, some more exciting blueprints will become available. Then I'll want more weapon parts, so then I'll start deconstructing stuff a bit more. But for now, I'm mostly selling. So let's find another mission. That was a medical one, and I really want that upgrade for my sentry turret. So what I want to do... is that a security one? I think that was a security one. So let's have a look for that. Let's have a look. I'm pretty sure... So the upgrade I'm after is for this. And it's this mod that I want. Yeah, it's a Tech Wing upgrade. This is the upgrade that I'm after, the Zapper. So that will turn the turret that I'm currently using into... it'll basically stun enemies. So I'm after that, which means I need some more... I need some more points in my tech... I need some more Tech Wing supplies, you can see there. I think it's only 400 that I need. I'm on 320, so I only need 80, and I reckon that doing one tech mission will get me there. So let's see if I can find one. For those just joining us, this is the full map, which, as I said before, I think is probably...
I think somebody's out there.
3 or 4 times the size of the beta, which might be a bit disappointing for some. I'm guessing that this probably is the whole area, and that the areas out of bounds to the top and bottom here. Maybe they will come in with the DLC. But as far as I can tell, this is going to be the play area for now. It's bigger than it looks. It's pretty densely populated. And also, just explain the Dark Zone again very quickly. It's split into 6 parts, getting tougher so you've got DZ01 all the way up to 6. The first one, you still need to be level 10 before you go in. You can go in before that. You will die, or at least I did, really badly, because even the NPCs are much higher level than you. So they have a skull next to them that means they're going to kill you. So I didn't last long in there at all. I'm avoiding that until I get up to level 10, and hopefully I'll be playing it with some friends at that point. So it's tech that I want. If I hover over this,
going out.
You get this kind of audio brief.
And the heater keeps fading out. I think we busted power or something. Right. So why do we fucking care? Huh?
Oh, there's loads of swearing in this game. I haven't mentioned it, but there is loads. So that is telling me that minimum recommended level is 12. I'm not there yet, so I'm going to leave that for now. I'm looking for something that's about my... Wow, that's a level 22
We're at
mission.
the radio mast, but there's
We're going to have to space these things out quite a lot.
That's a first wave agent's distress
that's
beacon.
16.
I've got no idea what they're doing here, but the place...
And that's an 18. Okay, I'm too low level for the tech missions at the moment. I could go into them anyway, but...
out there.
You mean like help?
I don't need... I would die badly. Okay, so let's see if we've got a security mission then. Those are the blue ones. That's a 10.
Let him go.
A 20. Okay, that's pretty serious. 26. Okay, in that case, it looks like I'm going to be doing
So that little weasel picked a bunch of
another
department
mission
stores
for the
for
medic
this little
guys,
Black
so
Friday
I'm going to head there
surprise,
now.
And everyone knows Abel's. It might even be Amherst's Ground Zero. We need to find an original, unmutated strain of the virus to compare with the mutations our patients have. And the only place to find them is on the original bills tainted with the original virus.
Which means we need you to head over to Abel's and bring back any tainted bills you can find.
I've just realised this is a mission I started doing last night and was really quite tough. You occasionally bump into guys doing some looting. I'm tempted to try a different mission just because I did that last night. I'm not wimping out because it's hard, honest. It might be. But it's less about that and more about having a bit of variety. But that looks like the only... Yeah, it's the only mission that I'm kind of roughly the right level for. So I guess we'll give it a go. And if I die again, well, there you go. It happens.
Come on, what the hell, man?
Oh man, my coffee's cold. I've been playing this game too long.
Agent, we have a very literal manifestation of some negative energy. The antennae are malfunctioning, probably because of some tampering. Balance requires observation, and likely some actual intervention on the physical plane.
So I've just, as you're walking around, you do kind of bump into missions. Let's stop for a second and do this. So you can see I've got the marker on the map. I've had a pop-up and a bit of audio. It's quite a nice thing getting these kind of random missions appear. Okay, and there are some cleaners over there, so let's... What I want to do is hit the pack. There we go. You can see the little yellow... When you get a yellow hit marker, that means you're hitting some element of some vulnerable part of their... Ooh, that didn't go well. Oh, I've set myself on fire. That's not brilliant. Is it fun? I'm saying, is it fun? Yeah, I think it is fun. I think if you are one of those people who can't stand games that have got stats of any kind, you know, you really don't want to be kind of comparing weapons and armor and all that stuff, I can see you finding this a bit frustrating, a bit too much of a faff, I guess. If you're into kind of RPGs and stuff like that, then I think you'll love it. But the combat is really solid. The weapons sound excellent. They feel really good. So it's not like you've not got the action stuff in there as well. So as you can see, I've got just under a minute to restart the generators. I'm hoping that was the only one I had to do. Okay, and now I've got to travel over here and do this one. Okay, and we've got more of the guys coming out. These guys are called the cleaners. And they are basically trying to tackle the infection that's hit New York by setting a light to everything and everyone. The turret you can see there, the little sentry gun, is one of the perks I've got. It doesn't do much damage to enemies, but it... Oh dearie me, I've only got 5 seconds, I failed this. Ah, that's what I get for not paying enough attention. Okay, let's go back to the start of this. I'll do it a bit quicker this time. Richard Jones, yeah, I kind of, Richard Jones is saying he didn't fancy the game, but is changing his mind seeing it in action. I actually felt the same. I was excited when it was first announced. I thought it sounded really cool, but then I played it at E3, and it was very much kind of player against player stuff that they showed off, and I don't think it worked really badly, basically, and I don't think the game particularly works in that works well as a player versus player game. I think it works much better as a co-op game, and you can do most of it on your own if you want. But I think there is a lot of fun to be had teaming up with your mates. I did some of that last night, and that works really, really well. So yeah, I think it's better than I expected. It's better than the E3 demo suggested. I'm enjoying it a lot, and it's very deep. I know people think it doesn't look huge, but it is massive, and there's a lot of. If it's not physically massive, there are loads of. It's really densely packed with stuff to do, so I don't think you're going to run out of stuff very quickly. And the plan for adding new content and adding new events and that kind of thing seems really, really solid, and a lot of that is free. There is DLC that's been announced that adds extra stuff, but there are events and things that are going to be added, kind of in the way that Destiny does, kind of weekly events and that kind of thing. Those are going to be added for free. Okay, so I'm just heading to this mission. As I said a little bit earlier, we're I did this last night. I died a bunch of times, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes.
Okay, Agent, you're looking for any bills our pal Amherst used to spread his original virus strain. We know he used Abel's as one of his primary launching pads, so with any luck, there should be plenty of contaminated greenbacks lying around in there.
As well as civilians. The store's one of the bigger refugee camps we've been monitoring.
I was really hoping
to thing out of it, but
to
if you
make
don't
that
find
explode,
some
but it seems
unmutated
it
virus
needed
I can use as a
a
comp,
couple
we
more
may as
shots
well
than
give
I
up
had.
any hope of creating a vaccine. So, no pressure.
Yeah, this is PS4 that I'm playing. Downgraded? I don't know. I think you can look at some of the early stuff, and I think some of the really early stuff was a little bit prettier than this. But I think it's a terrifically good-looking game. Probably the best looking game on PS4 so far. I think maybe Uncharted will beat that. But I mean, let's remember this is an open world game, so. This is an open world game, so it's technically a lot trickier.
Temperature rising. Elevated levels of carbon dioxide detected.
Uh-oh. Sounds like there's a fire in the building. I'll start feeding Isaac the structural blueprints in case you need them.
Calculating route to emergency fire suppression
Anonymous
system
pro
controls.
gamers, take your spam elsewhere, please. Yeah, so did it get downgraded? I don't know. I think the idea is it looks a little bit better on PC, but I think for a PS4 game this looks pretty special. The stream that you're getting is obviously compressed a bit so that it can get onto YouTube quickly enough. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it in sort of full 1080p on a decent size screen, and I think it looks pretty incredible. That's a bot. Yeah, The Witcher 3. Yeah, good shout. Justice League fan. The Witcher 3 is an awesome game, and it does look incredible. Yeah, you're right. Maybe that's prettier. I think Division would give it a run for its money. But you're right. The Witcher 3 is just gorgeous, isn't it? Okay, there we go. Just going to ignore that.
Warning. Emergency fire suppression system activated. System obstructed on upper floors. Manual override required.
Great.
Those bombs are really annoying. You can just hear the
until Isaac where the
beeping. But actually spotting them isn't always that easy.
Remember, Agent, you need to collect any bills you can find with the original virus strain.
Especially the first time you find them, because you're not really expecting them.
Charity donation stations, tip jars in the cafe. Any place you can think of that
Oh,
might
hello.
involve cash.
Okay, and just having a quick look around, see if there's any loot. As I said earlier, it does usually pop up on your map as a little purple icon. You can see one. Okay, this is interesting. So there are locked doors that you come across that you can get into. Boom Bam really wants us to play WWE 2K16. Maybe we will, but for now we are playing the Division. We're focused on this, seeing as it's, I don't know, certainly the biggest release of the year so far. Okay, just got a new mask out of that. It's a blue one, so that means it's higher level than green stuff, generally speaking. Boost to armor, upgrade my primary DPS, which is the thing I'm most concerned on, and adds these attributes on the side. So I get a plus 4% health boost on kills. That's kind of cool. and a few other bits, so let's equip that. The other stuff, I don't think I've got anything particularly special, so no, that's pretty good. Let's add that. And how about this? No, that's not much use. Weapons, I'm kind of happy with what I've got. So let's crack on. How am I supposed to get to that? Is it through there? No, can't get through there. In terms of Riley, COD is the biggest game of the year. COD came out in 2015, right? So I'm talking about the biggest game of the year so far. I know the year, we're not very far into the year, but you know, I think that's just. As for whether it will get boring and repetitive, like Destiny did, maybe. I mean, who knows? We're going to have to keep going and find out. What I always found interesting with something like Destiny is people would play it for like 50 hours and then say, oh, it got boring. And if you ask me, there aren't loads of games out there that will give you 50 hours of entertainment in the first place. So I guess it depends on expectation, really. It certainly seems pretty densely packed, but you will inevitably end up going to kind of the same areas, and as you say, that kind of that search, kill, loot kind of pattern, that rhythm, I guess is built into the game. There seems some decent variety in the missions, but there is kind of a pattern that comes out. So you could be right. I guess the only way is, yeah, play it and find out. And some people kind of like that rhythm, a kind of predictable rhythm to games.
My wife said tanzanite. Is that something you carry?
Oh my god, tell me you don't love this watch. I dare you.
I'm so sorry. My credit card is on the fritz.
Not a problem. This is yours.
So these
and $9.20 in change. Happy holidays.
These echoes are kind of, yeah, just kind of visions of the past. They're quite nicely done. You can kind of walk through these and they respond quite nicely. There's just kind of a bit of background flavour, isn't it? I think a lot of people will ignore them, but I think you do get a XP boost when you collect these things, so boom, 330 XP, which has made no dent in my progress at all, really. Okay, let's get out of that. That's a bit dull now.
Readings indicate an echo nearby.
Could I play this current mission with a friend? Yes, I could. You can. These missions kind of seem to form the majority of the story of the game, and they are playable. Where's this telling me to go? Okay, they are playable from 1 to 4 players. As far as I'm aware, every one of them is available 1 to 4 players, and the more players you have, the more enemies get spawned. So it does become tougher. Having said that, I do think playing solo is maybe slightly tougher than playing 3-player, even though the game tries to make things more difficult for a bigger team.
Object test negative for viral contamination.
As for if you're asking whether I'm going to play with a friend now, I'm not, I'm afraid. Basically, I've not got a setup for chat. I think the next time we do a video like this, I will have. But because of that, it wouldn't be a lot of fun. You'd hear a lot of one-sided conversation. Besides, you know, in the UK, this is work time. So most of the people I'd usually play games with are earning money, doing proper jobs, not like this, not like a job like this. Okay, do I have to go back down to come back up? Is that what it's telling me? One thing I do think is that you don't have to do a lot of thinking when it comes to doing missions and things. They're kind of, everything's kind of spat out for you. You just kind of follow the waypoint.
approaching.
In terms of shooting through objects, I have managed to do that a couple of times. I think it depends on the object. Something like this obviously doesn't penetrate, but that's quite thick. The time I recall doing it, where was I? It was at police precinct, and there was a big kind of what looked like kind of a big wooden sign
the cleaners haven't torched everything
on the roof,
before you
and
those bills.
I managed to kill a guy through that. It may just be very specific objects are set up for that. I'll try to look out for it, see if we can.
One more reason to keep them at bay, Agent.
See if we can figure it out.
Like I said, no pressure.
So it seems, if you don't know much about the story, the idea is that a virus broke out right around Black Friday, and actually most of it was transmitted with cash. So this mission appears to be basically going
negative for viral contamination.
Back to the very start. What appears to be ground zero. That's not very nice, is it? Basically ground zero, and I'm trying to pick up and analyze the banknotes. I believe so they can try and come up with some kind of vaccine for it. So it's the cash registers and things. There we go. There's a cash register.
Object test negative.
And there you go. I've tested the bills. There's something to pick up. Again, top left you can see. Top left is the radar. And you can see there are some purple objects, and those purple objects tend to be collectibles. I know there's something that direction as well, but the fact that it's a smaller one and there's a marker kind of facing down tells me that it's on a lower level, so something I've missed, I guess, from earlier. Right, I can't get in there because it's on fire.
According to the schematics, there should be an emergency override up ahead.
Richard, yes, you can customise your character. Yes, it's probably my favourite part of the game. Let me wait until... let's have a look. Can I do that over here? I'm just looking for a bit of light. Okay, that's fine. So this is what my guy looks like at the moment. Yeah, he's a bit of a douche. And he's more of a douche with his hat off. He's got a bit of a hipster haircut. But you can customise the appearance. So on top of all your equipped gear, that won't make any difference. So stuff like your armour will make a difference to the way you look, unless this one's the same. That one's the same, so a really bad example. But these things do. Even have I got any other gloves? I just sold a bunch of stuff, so I've not really got stuff to compare to. But each of these things will slightly change the appearance of your character. But beyond that, you have a whole appearance section here. So I can take the hat off entirely. I told you about the haircut, didn't I? Sorry. That's why I'm wearing a hat all the time. And there's a bunch of stuff. There are some things that I've got here that you won't necessarily find in the game, like the Siege cap and the Sports Bros sports cap. I would recommend, if you've played any Ubisoft games at all, log into Uplay on the Ubisoft site. And you will probably find that you've got loads of tokens that you've saved up, loads of Uplay points. You probably don't even know you've done it, but yeah, loads of Uplay points, and you can spend those on unlocking cosmetic items for the game. So look, changing all the. And if you want to know about customizing the overall look of your character, so the face and everything, there is our channel does have another video which is dedicated to character customization. It's not massively deep, not like Fallout or something like that. You've got something like 6 or 7 basic faces to choose from, each of which has 5 or 6 haircuts, and like for facial hair options, and then you can add tattoos, piercings, that kind of thing. War paint, you can add war paint. I felt like that would annoy me in the long run. And yes, I am wearing the shirt and tie. I feel like, you know, just because it's the apocalypse doesn't mean we shouldn't be smart, right? You know, white trainers for the apocalypse, sure. White trainers, shirt and tie. Yeah, I told you my guy was a bit of a douche. He's not so much of a douche that he's going to wear a neck warmer though, because come on, that looks like a snood. Okay, so as you can see, lots of cosmetic options. And yes, you can play as a woman. That's the first option when you get to the customization section at the start. So yeah, let's crack on with the mission.
Increased viral contagion detected.
Bingo. That's gotta be our virus-infected bills somewhere nearby. Keep an eye out, but just don't lick them.
As for problem with connecting, yeah, no, I'm playing on PS4 servers right now, so
another manual override for the
no
fire
issues.
system. Sending Isaac the location now.
No issues with that. And as for my love of customizing, that's just the kind of person I am. I love the customization bits in games. I don't really mean it. I wouldn't just sit there on a customization screen for 100 hours toying about with that. Just I do love games where you can customize with a key character. Corey, you want to see how big the game is? I will just quit. Oh, hang on. We'll have to wait until after this fight, which I think is the fight that I died in about 3 times last night. So this could go horribly wrong. But I'll try and show you the map afterwards. So I have to defend this sort of area, and I know it looks like I'm backing off a lot, but as I said, I died a bunch of times trying to do this last night. Loading times, Richard, while I'm trying not to die. Loading times are pretty... You basically, in a lot of cases, don't have any loading. There's no loading between sections of the city. It takes a while. If you try to fast travel somewhere, you have a load there while it transports you to another part of the map. But generally running around the city is seamless, and actually when you enter a mission like this you can just walk straight into it without loading anything as well. So that's all pretty impressive. There's quite a big load when you start the game in the first place, but other than that you hardly ever see a loading screen. I know some people get annoyed that when you go to your base of operations... I just want to kill this guy. When you go to your base of operations, it forces you to walk, which just feels kind of ponderous. But I presume that's because it's transferring you from a kind of live server with loads of other people into something that's entirely yours, and loading your own specific version of the base of operations, because everybody's will be different depending on how much of the upgrading they've done.
Warning. Readings indicate this area is... Warning. Viral contamination confirmed.
Keep your eyes peeled, Agent. We just got a report from JTF observers outside the building. More cleaners arrived while you were busy upstairs.
give them a wide
Sorry to hear you guys are
I know
having
I've said
problems
this
with the
before, but I
servers.
need those
Maybe I'm
bills
just
in
lucky
mint
because I'm already
condition,
online.
so to speak.
I guess this was always going to be a busy day for the game. Seeing
You are now
as
entering a contaminated area.
this is the time that basically everybody
Now leaving the contaminated area.
everybody in the world now has access to the game. I think the UK was the last to get it, roughly. So I guess this is probably as busy as it's ever going to be. The beta was really solid. I guess this is a different case. So I hope those problems are fixed pretty quickly and you're able to get on soon. Okay. These restock things are dotted about fairly liberally. I have run out of ammo a few times, but as long as you look out for that icon on the radar, the purple one you can see there, that will completely stock up all of your gear. And enemies drop ammo as well. This is where I died last time, and I think it's the end of the mission. But I did find that there were quite a few enemies. Okay, so that is a big bad guy. I think we'll probably kill him off.
Chemical reservoir.
The heck?
Alert! Hostiles approaching.
This is similar to an enemy I've fought before, and it wasn't easy last time. Run. Out of here again. See how much damage that does when it hits you. See, I'm targeting, yeah, that spot on his left.
Alert! Hostiles approaching.
That's more enemies coming in, so that's not good. Oh! Yeah. That was tough. Sorry about that, guys.
Alert! Hostiles approaching. Hostiles approaching.
Nice.
Agent.
There we go.
Undamaged bills with original strain virus, and that place was like looking for needles in a haystack. But damned if you didn't pull it off. I can't wait to get my hands on them. Oh, an
so
agent?
yeah.
I'm buying the next round.
Remember that that was basically a boss fight. These main missions. I'll tell you what. I'll show you them very shortly on the map. But let me just quickly grab the loot. You can tell kind of the level of the loot before you get close to it. You know, that's a white light pillar, so that's pretty basic stuff. Green is one level up from that. It's worth hoovering up everything at this stage. It can always be sold or dismantled. And bosses tend to drop a bit more stuff. So you can see here, there are 4 items here. 1 white or grey and 3 greens, which are a bit better.
Thank you, Agent.
So,
that strain sample you secured told us a lot. I've prepared a report for posterity and the DCD. Have a look.
Here's a map. What I just did was this mission. So that tells me on the left-hand side that minimum recommended level is 8 and all that kind of thing. But yes, all of these missions can be played. So I've currently... when you first get to base of operations, you're given 3 of those to do. And once you've done those 3, each one of those 3 unlocks another 4 missions. And there are lots of different levels. So I know a couple of the ones up here are like...
That's a first wave agent.
I saw a level 20, level 22. I think I saw a level 20. There's level 27. So those kind of, I think, form the bulk of the gameplay, bulk of the kind of story stuff. And you can play all of that stuff with 3 of your mates. You can actually just wander about this entire area with 3 of your mates. And this area, the Dark Zone, is where it gets to you, and hopefully you're going to take some friends with you, can go in here, and this is where you get the really good loot, but it's also where other players will kill you, and where the NPCs are particularly tough. I know that because I went in there when I was level 7 yesterday. As you can see, this is supposed to be levels 10 to 12, and I got killed by someone who was an NPC who was so much higher level than I was that all I had was a skull next to his name. It works very much like that kind of stuff on Destiny. So hopefully that gives you an idea of the size. I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave it there for a little bit, folks. With any luck, I'll be able to get on again a bit later and do a bit more live streaming. I hope that's been of some use. I will obviously, let's have a look, end on some jumping jacks, because that's the only way to sign off any kind of Division live stream. So thank you very much indeed for watching. I hope it's been useful. Maybe see you online a bit later. Thanks, folks.